Women tracking wolves, conservation efforts in Yellowstone and Italy. Boldly stepping into the wild, we discover the captivating journeys of two remarkable women who have dedicated their lives to tracking the resurgence of wolf packs, a story of nature reborn and human passion intertwined. In one corner of the world, Elisa Ramassa began her career as a park ranger in 1997 at Italy's Gran Bosco di Salbertrand, located near the city of Turin. That very year, a groundbreaking event unfolded. Locals witnessed a wolf pack roaming the Italian Alps for the first time in decades, after the species had disappeared since the 1920s. Over the span of her career, Elisa has meticulously tracked these wolves, delving into the complexities of pack dynamics, family hierarchies, and the gradual re-establishment of a once-lost population. Her work not only sheds light on the natural revival of these majestic animals, but also emphasizes the persistent resilience of nature in the face of human impact. Across the Atlantic, in the vast terrains of Yellowstone National Park, Erin Stahler brings another engaging perspective. Serving as both a biological science technician and the program manager for the Yellowstone Wolf Project, Erin has been at the forefront of observing the intricate behaviors of wolves reintroduced to the park in 1995. Today, Yellowstone is home to around 10 wolf packs, making up an estimated population of roughly 100 wolves that roam freely across the park's expansive and varied landscape, a perfect setting for studying the subtle nuances of wolf behavior. Erin's observations provide invaluable insights into how open spaces and diverse ecosystems can support vibrant wildlife communities. Presented with the expert narration of Datsian Navanayagam and produced by Jane Thurlow for BBC World Service. This broadcast is scheduled for Monday, 28 July 2025, from 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. It invites us to explore not only the scientific achievements behind these stories, but also the broader implications of wildlife conservation. And here's where it gets controversial. As the return of such an iconic species sparks hope, it also raises challenging questions. How do we strike a balance between human expansion and the sanctity of these natural habitats? Could increased human interest and intervention inadvertently alter the very behaviors we aim to study? These nuanced debates remind us that the path to conservation is often paved with complex, sometimes conflicting perspectives. What are your thoughts on balancing the revival of wildlife with human needs and interests? Share your opinions and join the discussion, because this is one conversation where every viewpoint matters. Gray wolves, pups on the move. Tracking elk migration. Imagine a world where tiny, helpless wolf pups are braving rugged terrains alongside their parents. This is exactly what UC Berkeley biologists discovered near Yellowstone National Park, where gray wolves, physics.org/gray+wolves, were seen trekking over 20 kilometers with their very young offspring in tow. But here's where it gets controversial. The wolves were making these arduous journeys to stay close to their primary food source. The spring migrating elk. Wolf pups are born almost entirely dependent on their parents, unable to see, hear, or smell effectively. They typically stay in the safety of their dens until they are about 3 weeks old. So when researchers first spotted a mother wolf carrying her squirming pup by the hindquarters, they were both amused and amazed. The first time I saw a camera trap photo of a wolf carrying its pup, I just cracked up because the pup is being carried by its butt, said Avery Stahler, the lead author of the study published in the journal Current Biology on August 1, 2025. It's like watching a parent trying to manage a wriggling toddler. Determined, but humorous. The study reveals that these wolves are making significant changes to their usual routines to follow the elk herds as they migrate to higher altitudes in the spring. This is the first time such behavior has been documented in gray wolves outside the Arctic, marking a significant shift in our understanding of wolf ecology. And this is the part most people miss. It challenges the long-held belief that migratory hoofed animals can avoid predators during the spring because predators are confined to their dens with immobile young. Arthur Middleton, the senior author and a professor of environmental science, policy, and management at UC Berkeley, explained, "Our findings challenge the assumption that migratory hoofed mammals can escape predation in spring because their predators are tied to dens and immobile offspring. This new insight is crucial for the conservation of both species." Understanding these adaptations is vital for managing human-wildlife conflicts, especially in regions where wolves and humans share the same landscape. In the U.S., more wolves live outside of protected areas than within them, and these wolves often encounter human activities and livestock, said Stahler, who completed her PhD at UC Berkeley in 2024. Our research helps us understand how wolves are adapting to a changing environment, which is essential for effective conservation and land management. Since the reintroduction to Yellowstone National Park in 1995, the gray wolf population in the Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem, https www.nps.gov/yell/learn/Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem.htm, has grown to around 500. The region is also home to tens of thousands of partially migratory elk, whose movements are increasingly influenced by climate change and land use changes. https www.beyondyellowstone.org/news/land development research brief. To study the impact of elk migration on wolf behavior, the researchers used GPS collars to track the movements of 19 gray wolves and 99 elk in the eastern Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem between 2019 and 2021. They found that wolves are highly adaptable to the movements of their prey. Some elk herds migrate only short distances in the spring, and the wolf packs that follow them tend to stay in the same territory. However, other elk herds travel much farther, and the wolf packs that track them engage in two distinct behaviors: commuting and migrating. Commuting refers to temporary forays outside the wolf's home territories to track migrating elk herds, while migrating involves moving to an entirely new seasonal range, sometimes up to 50 kilometers away. In some cases, wolves have been observed carrying their pups as far as 20 kilometers from their original dens to new pack rendezvous sites. In Yellowstone, research has shown that a significant number of wolf deaths are due to other packs attacking and killing pups, as competition for space and food is intense, Stahler noted. It's remarkable that these wolves are willing to take such risks to ensure their survival. These findings have broader implications for conservation efforts and land management, particularly in regions like California, where wolves have begun to recolonize the state. Middleton is co-leading the California Wolf Project, https://wildlife.berkeley.edu, which aims to understand the social and ecological factors influencing these wolf populations. While it's still early days, our partners in California suspect that the numbers and movements of deer and elk are influencing wolf behavior, including livestock predation, Middleton said. The insights gained from our Yellowstone research will guide our approach as we expand the project in California. The study's co-authors include Kristen J. Barker of UC Berkeley and Beyond Yellowstone Living Lab, Wenjing Xu of the Senckenberg Biodiversity and Climate Research Center in Germany, and Kenneth J. Mills and Tony W. Mong of the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. For more information, see Avery L. Stahler et al. Wolves use diverse tactics to track partially migratory prey. Current Biology, 2025. DOI 10.1016j.cub.2025.015 https://dx.doi.org 2025.07.015 Citation: Gray wolves carry young pups over rugged terrain to track spring elk migration. 2025, August 1st, retrieved 2 August 2025 from https://phys.org. News 2025.08 Gray wolves young pups rugged.html. This document is subject to copyright. Apart from any fair dealing for the purpose of private study or research, no part may be reproduced without the written permission. The content is provided for information purposes only.